demand that the plan to house the illegal migrants be torn up, shredded and incinerated, because Farnborough says no. All of us here have voted for political parties in the last election who promised to cut illegal immigration and to stop the boats. And while progress has been made to reduce the overall numbers, we did not vote to spend taxpayers' money, our money, on housing illegal migrants in luxury accommodation, especially when our own people are homeless on these streets. Many of us can't afford to buy a house or pay a mortgage, and while we are left to struggle, the establishment chooses to spend money they could have spent helping the British people get on the housing ladder on people who have abused our asylum system. Now, I'm sure many of you, like me, support helping those in genuine need across the globe in small, controlled numbers. But unless you have Diane Abbott doing the calculations, it is clear we cannot house the world on our small island. Let the left-wing lawyers and activists who support open borders house illegal migrants out of their own pockets. Let the areas who repeatedly vote for the Labour Party, the Liberal Democrats and the Greens have what they voted for. Let their taxes exclusively pay for illegal migrants' accommodation and their communities bear the burden of overpopulation. Let their GP, dentist and school waiting lists increase. Why should we, who as a community who want the boats to be stopped, have to deal with the consequences of the actions of an entitled middle-class elite who care nothing for the working class? According to The Guardian, we spend £8 million a day housing illegal migrants in hotels and other luxury accommodations across the UK. And I've quoted The Guardian so they can't say, oh, you're making up numbers. This is the left-wing press telling us they spend £8 million a day of our money housing people who have abused our asylum system. Most of us won't even make £1 million in our entire working lives. So how on earth can we justify spending £8 million a day housing people who have illegally entered our country? Surely we should be housing asylum applicants in secure, basic accommodation in a remote part of the UK while we process their applications and distinguish genuine from fraudulent, as almost every other country in the world does. Taxpayer money would be better spent paying for planes to deport illegal migrants back to their country of origin rather than paying for luxury hotels. As dismayed as I am with our establishment, I'm even more shocked by the actions of the French who have put us in this situation. I have reliable sources who tell me that every time the French extort money from us to actually do their jobs and police their borders, the French riot police storm into refugee camps in Dunkirk and Calais, tear gas the occupants, destroy their tents and force them into the hands of people traffickers. These traffickers are exploiting them and dumping them on our shores, yet you won't hear about this in the pro-EU media. Why is it that France neglects their responsibilities and refuses to house genuine asylum seekers in France? Why does the French government not have to pay for the consequences of their open border policy? Why is it that every opportunity the burden of cost is put on you and me, the British taxpayer? Why is it that France can ship these illegal migrants into Britain, yet we are unable to deport murderers and rapists who have been convicted of these crimes and have arrived here illegally? Why must we be constrained by international laws that no one else appears to be following? When will our politicians grow a spine and do what is best for the British people? When will we be prioritised? However, unlike the French, I do have a heart. I don't support putting illegal migrants in tents in muddy fields. However, if we are as a nation to be lumped with the burden of accommodating illegal migrants, then France should pay us for every single person they allow to leave their country illegally. And they should have to pay the deportation costs associated with getting rid of them after we're done processing them. I'm sure you all agree that we should be treating everyone with dignity, but we deserve to be treated with dignity as well. We should not have our votes ignored. We should not have our opinions ignored. We should not have our concerns ignored. We should not have our safety ignored. And Farnborough should not be ignored. Rushmore says no.